Right, good evening folks. In this video we're going to look at how to make the Bombarda float rig. We're going to look at what Bombardas are used for and the main reason why I wanted to use them. And I'm going to show you how to make the rig that attaches to your main line that enables you to fish either a weightless small paddle tail lure like this one, which is a red gill 90mm one, or this is the main reason that I wanted to try it, was to use the freshwater flies. And the great thing about this is that you don't really need to adapt your current bass lure fishing setup to be able to fish a fly. You just need to have a Bombarda rig and you can just clip it on and off like you would a normal lure. I'm going to show you how to do that now. So what the components that you're going to need for making the Bombarda rig are as follows. So you're going to need a swivel at the top, a bead. You're going to need your Bombarda, which is there, and I've got a couple of different ones. I've got some floating ones, and you get two different types of Bombarda floats. So you get a floating one, which is there, which will float on top of the water, and then you get one like this, which is weighted at the bottom, which is a slow sinking one. They come in a variety of different weights. I think you can get them from 40 grams all the way down to 10 grams, and depending on what you're doing and how rough you're fishing, or how far you want to cast as well, is to which one that you would use. So we're going to look at the rig from the top, like I said. So you got swivel, bead, Bombarda, bead. I've got a bit of silicone tube in there as well, which kind of acts like an anti-tangle sleeve, and then I've got a clip at the bottom there, a really small Gemini snoo clip, and the when you got the snoo clipped on, this bit of silicone actually clips over the clip like that, so it just holds it all in place there. So let's make the rig from scratch, and I'll show you all the components you need, and we'll do it now. Right, so first things first, we're just going to use a rig body. We've got an 80-pound rig body there. I'm just going to measure out around about a shoulder's width. Like I say, you're not going to need all this material, and we're just going to cut that. At the top end, we're just going to tie a swivel using your knot of choice. For the video, I'm just going to use a quick 4-turn blood knot. Nice and simple. There we go. Cut off the tag end. So there's a swivel tied onto one end. What we're going to do now is we're just going to grab a small bead and just place that onto the line, and that will act as a protector for the top knot there. We're then going to take our Bombarda. We're going to put it on long side first. So this is the bottom here, which is at the bottom of the float. The long stem is the top, so we're going to feed the line down the top of the Bombarda like so. We're going to push that out at the bottom, let that fall to the bottom. We're then going to grab a bead, which is there, slide it down, and then we're going to take a piece of rig tubing. Now you can cut this as long or as short as you want. I'm going to cut it round about 3 inches, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide it on to my rig body like so. It's a bit fiddly getting the line through the silicone bit of tubing, and slide it all the way down to the bottom like so. And then what you want to do now is you want to mark out where you think how much material you've got to be able to tie a knot, but you want it to be quite tight. You don't want there to be loads of line moving about. And when I first started using these, I made them and I left quite a lot of line at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut that there without losing it. It gives me enough room here to then tie on a small clip. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it on now, again with a 4-turn knot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just going to pass that back through the eye at the bottom, moisten that up, and then I'm going to grab the little piece of the lead there and just pull that tight, like so. It's a bit too small for the knot puller, and then your silicone tubing then can just fit over the bottom of the clip, and there's not much movement in that at all, which is there. So that is the Bombarda rig pretty much done. All we need to do now is make our hook link. You would clip that on and off of your main line of your lure rod. What I like to use these mini quick change links, and I use them for all my lures. So if I'm fishing a lure, I'm popping away on the top with a surface plug, and I want to go, if you see the fish are out a little bit further, and I want to go for something that's going to be a bit more distance, a bit more aerodynamic in the cast, I can clip on this straight on to the thing. I can have all these ready made up in my backpack or whatever, and it just gives you another avenue to explore when you're lure fishing. There we go. Slide the silicone bit off of the clip, and then all we need to do is we need to make our snood link, which we'll do now. Right, and so the snood line is really important. You want to be using a fluorocarbon snood line, around about 3 to 4 foot. For the sake of the video, I'm just going to use a shorter piece. I'm just going to cut that there. What we're going to do is we're going to take a small swivel. We're just going to tie that onto one end of the fluorocarbon. Just going to cut off the tag end. And there's our small swivel on there. You want a small swivel, you don't want to be using a massive swivel. You just want a nice small swivel just to be able to clip on and off of the snood. And what I'm going to show you first is I'll show you how to tie on the fly. Now you can literally just tie these directly to the fly. What I've been doing is I've been having my snood lines wrapped around rig winders, like that, and they're pretty much just ready to roll off and clip on and go. For the sake of the video, I'm just going to tie this onto the front of the fly. Pull that nice and tight. Yeah, and trim the tag end. And there you have your snood line. So swivel at the top, fly on the bottom. All you need to do now is turn the Bombarda upside down, or if it's suspended from your rod, you just clip it on. Your snood link will clip straight on, like so. Feed a bit of silicone tubing down to lock off over the clip, and that is your Bombarda rig ready to go. Like I say, it's a great addition to have in your tackle box. If those fish are out a little bit further, the great thing about it is that the Bombarda will cast out really nice and streamlined. This kind of acts as like your weight. It will then sit on the top. It'll create a lovely burst of weight behind it. When you're reeling it in, it creates a really nice weight behind it when it's sitting on the top. And you do find that fish do smash the lure as well as the Bombarda as well as the lure. And then behind that, sitting on the surface, you'll have your fly. With the flies, I've had a chat with a couple. I fished them. I haven't really got used to them yet. I mean, it's quite new to me, this is. So with the flies, the idea is that you'll slowly retrieve it in and then pause. And then some people have said just pop them across the top, or pop them like that, or just reel them really slowly and just give them a little bit of a pop. Now, I've been using the red gill. I've had a little bit of success on the red gill. I'm just going to show you how to do the red gill now. So the red gill is a pretty cool lure, to be fair. Like I say, it's a weightless lure, so there's no weights in it at all. Usually what you'll find with bass lures is that they'll have a weighted head on the front. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut the fly off of this rig just to use the line as a demonstration again. With the red gills, you take the hook from outside of the lure. When you get them in the box, they'll come separately, so you'd have the lure and the hook. What you want to do is you want to feed the line straight through the nose of the red gill. It's quite fiddly at first, and then you want to bend the body to take the line out, which is there. The red gill will then sit on your line, and you then need to independently tie the hook on to the line. All will make sense in a minute. Nice and simple. Making sure you do put the line through the right place. There we go, knots tied nicely. Just gonna clip off the excess tag. Then what you need to do is you need to pull the hook into the lure. So slowly pull the lure down, and the hook will sit hook facing upwards, and then you just wiggle it back into the body, and that will just pull back into the body like so. There you go, and it sits like that. When you reel these in, they will reel in with the hook facing down, like so, and then they'll just flutter. It's such a good action on the back of this small lure. That paddle tail is really small, but when you reel it in, it gives a really nice flutter back in. So I've had success with small bass using these little lures. I had a really good session, as you probably have seen on the YouTube channel. It was great fun. But yeah, definitely something to consider, using these little red gill lures. So that is pretty much it, guys. That is the Bombarda in a nutshell. I hope you learned something from the video. I hope you go out and try it yourselves. You can get the Bombardas from your local tackle shops. The bit of silicone tubing is just I think it's a 1 or 2 mil bit of silicone tubing, really small. I have seen people use like solid bits of float plastic, and then just cutting them down instead. But it's, you know, it's good to use a bit of something just behind the Bombarda, because when you do cast them out without, they do have the tendency to tangle and wrap up. The snood has a tendency to tangle and wrap up, so that kind of acts as like a boom and pushes the line away from tangling up around the Bombarda. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.